Hello, girls. I hope you're staying safe at home. To continue with the flower chapter, today I'm going to teach you the four whorls in detail. Now, the first whorl you know is calyx. They are also known as sepals separately. Usually, you will see 5 sepals, but in some cases, there may be less or more than 5 sepals as well. Now, these sepals may be free, okay? Free. That means they are not attached to each other, okay? So, they are free. Sepals are free. So, when sepals are free, they are known as polysepalous. Now, in some cases, the sepals may be fused together. 5 sepals fused together this way, or maybe this way. Okay, so when the sepals are fused together, then it is known as gamosepalous. So the term for free is poly and the term for fused is gamo. Please learn these terms, children. Okay, now sometimes, as in the case of hibiscus or China rose, okay, shoe flower that you know of, in the calyx, you will see just below it a second series of sepals. Okay, now these are the sepals. So this second series, they are known as episepals. Okay, and collectively you know they are known as epicalyx. Now when the flower opens, these sepals may remain with the flower or they may also fall off. And most of the time sepals are green in color, and if they are colored, if they are brightly colored, as in the case of gul mohor where they are red in color, they are like petals and they are known as petaloid sepals. Okay, now what is the function of the calyx or the sepals? First function is protection. Okay, what does it protect? It protects the flower in the bud stage. And you know, most of the sepals, most of the time, they are green in color. So in plants, any green parts will take place, photosynthesis will take place. So they also perform photosynthesis. Okay. Now, moving on to corolla or petals as you know it. The petals are generally arranged in a single whorl, okay? A single whorl. Or sometimes they may be a double whorl, example poppy, or they may be arranged spirally, okay? Double whorl. Here you have double whorl. Another set of petals inside, or they may be, sometimes they may also be funnel shaped, tubular. You've seen all different types of flowers, haven't you? Okay, so petals may again be free. If they are free, what is the term I told you to remember? Poly. Since we are talking about petals, it becomes petalous. And sometimes they may also be fused together. Fused, you will see in the case of morning glory. Okay, I think you all have seen the morning glory flower where it forms this type of structure. That is, the petals are fused. So when they are fused, what term must you remember? Gamo. So it is petals, so gamo petalous. Okay, so what is the function of corolla now? First is to attract insects. It attracts since it is beautiful and colorful. So what does it do? It attracts insects. For what? For pollination. Okay. And of course, it also protects the inner two worlds, that is the androecium and the gynoecium. Okay. The androecium and the gynoecium. Now moving on to androecium. Okay. Uh, androecium are also known as stamens. And the stamen is the male part of the flower. The number of stamens is different in different flowers. In some there may be few, or in some there may be a large number of stamens. Okay, some will have 3, 4, some may even have 10, 20, 30 stamens. Now each stamen consists of a long filament, okay, and it has a bilobed anther. Bilobed means it has two lobes. This is one lobe and this is another lobe. Okay, so the anther has two lobes and each lobe has two pollen sacs. Okay, now each lobe, you will see each one, this lobe and this lobe, it has four. Okay, so inside these pollen sacs, what is produced? Pollen grains. What are pollen grains? Pollen grains are the male part of the flower or the male gametes. Now, how do these pollen grains come out? When the pollen or the anther or the pollen sac is fully matured, it will burst open. Okay, and the pollen grains are liberated. The pollen grains are powdery particles, yellow powder. If you touch a fully blown flower, you'll see some yellow substance sticking to your fingers. So what is sticking to your finger? Pollen grains, which may have different shapes and sizes. Check out figure 4.6b on page number 35 to see the shapes and sizes of pollen grains. Okay, now in androecium, again the stamens may be free. So if it is free, then what term I told you to remember? Poly. We are talking about anthers, so androus. Okay, and example petunia, please underline the example, children. Okay, and they may be joined in single, double, or several groups. If it is one group, then it is known as monoadelphous. Mon comes from the word mono. Mono means one. So you will see it is in one group, one single group. Okay, and then you'll see these are the anthers. Anthers at the top. So it is just one single group, that is monoadelphous. Example, China rose forms a staminal tube. Okay, and another example is even in cotton, you'll see. Please underline all the examples, children. Next we come to diadelphous. Di means two. Mono, I told you, means one. Okay, di means two. So diadelphous means the filaments are united in two bundles. Okay, in P, out of 10, 9 stamens form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is one group forming a staminal tube like this. Okay, and these are the anthers, and then one is separate. So it is forming how many groups? Two groups. Two groups. This is in the case of P. Okay. So this is diadelphous, and polyadelphous means, poly means many. So this is one group. This is another group. Another group. Another group. Another group. Okay, many groups. The filaments are united in several groups. Example, bombax. Children, please remember the examples are very, very important. Okay, now moving on to the fourth whorl, that is gynoecium, also known as carpels or pistils. Okay, it is made up of one or more carpels. In some cases, there may just be one carpel or sometimes many carpels. Okay, so each carpel consists of three parts. You have a terminal tip, at the tip, a knob like a knob of the door, okay, part which may be divided into two or more lobes, and sometimes it will have a feathery appearance. Okay, what is the function of this stigma? The pollen grains will land here during pollination. Okay, the stigma may be covered with hair or with glandular papillae, okay, because it serves as the landing place for pollen during pollination. Okay, then you have a long, slender, thin and long style. So you have the stigma, then you have the style. Style is connecting the stigma to the solen basal portion at the base below. Okay, solen part, which is known as the ovary. This solen part is known as the ovary. Okay, so the inner cavity of the ovary may be a single cavity like this. It is a single cavity, or, okay, so you can see this is a single cavity, or it is divided into several chambers, many chambers. Okay, and each chamber will have an ovule. Okay, now ovule is the female gamete of the plant. So each chamber is known as locules. The chamber, the ovary is divided into small chambers known as locules, and inside each chamber you will have a number of ovules. Okay, now placenta attaches the ovules to the wall. So the ovary has a wall, okay, and there is a placenta which attaches the ovule to the wall of the ovary. So what is the placenta doing? Attaching the ovule to the wall of the ovary. Okay, now moving on to the sexuality in plants. Most of the plants are bisexual. That means it bears flowers which has all the four whorls. That means if a flower has all the four whorls, then it is a bisexual flower. But in many plants, the male and female flowers are separate. Okay, there are two types of such plants. The first plant is known as monoecious plants. Okay, mono means one. Okay, so the male and the female flower, they grow in one single plant. So if this is a plant, okay, and then this plant has flowers. So there, okay, so this plant has flowers, and this may be a pistillate flower. This also may be a pistillate flower. This also may be a pistillate flower. That is the female flower. And the remaining three will be a staminate flower. Means it is male flower. So there is one plant, and in one plant you'll find separate staminate, that is the male flower, and pistillate, that is the female flower. Okay, now the next type, I think you can guess, is the dioecious. That means dioecious means two separate. This is one, and this is another plant. Now in one you'll find only the female flowers, that is the pistillate flower. So you can see this is a female plant. Okay, all these are pistillate flowers. All female flowers are there, which does not have any androecium. Okay, and this another plant will have only the staminate flowers. That means it is a male plant. These flowers are all staminate flowers. Okay, so separate plants has only female flowers and only male flowers. So basically you can say this is a female plant and this is a male plant. Okay. Now moving on to inflorescence. Okay. Now inflorescence is the mode of arrangement of flowers on the axis of a plant. Okay. Now there are different ways by which the flowers are arranged in the axis. The first type you will see, that is, these are the lateral branches and this is the terminal branch. Okay, and you will see flowers on the lateral branches as well as on the terminal branch. Okay, so it is at the apex of the main stem and at the terminal. And sometimes the next way you will see the arrangement is in the axils of the leaf. Okay, that is, this is the leaf. Okay, and you know the axil of the leaf, this is the axil of the leaf, this is the axil of the leaf. So branches come out from here, and at the tip of the branches, what will you see? You'll see the flowers. Okay, so where are the flowers? It is in the axils of the leaf. Okay, or you may also see another arrangement where growing out from the axil of different leaves. Okay, from the axil of different leaves, now this is the leaf, from the axil the branches reach the same level from the axil, and then there at the tip you'll have the flowers. From the axil of the leaf it will reach the same level, and then you'll see the flower. Okay, and then another, you will see the axis is laterally flattened, the axis becomes flat. Okay, and then you will see it makes a disc. Okay, and you will see the petals here. As in the case of sunflower, the youngest flowers are at the center and the oldest is at the side, at the periphery. And of course, you know what placenta is. I already told you. It is the tissue that attaches the ovule to the wall of the ovary. And coming to placentation, it is the manner in which the ovules are attached to the wall of the ovary. Nowadays, okay, I think all of you have seen cucumber. If you cut open a cucumber, okay, you will see right at the center how the seeds are attached. Many seeds are attached. So this soft fleshy part in the ovary was the placenta. Okay, you will see the different type of arrangements in fruits, such as in the pea. You have seen a pea pod. If you open right at the center, the peas are arranged. Okay, or in tomato, if you cut open, again it is something like so many seeds are here, fleshy in the center, something like the cucumber. Okay, or in the case of a mango, you will see right at the center you have the seed. So that is how the arrangement can be seen. That is arrangement of the ovules on the walls of the ovary. Okay, so later, you know, ovules turn into seeds and ovary turns into fruits. Okay, so we've come to the end of this chapter, children. Have a nice day. God bless you.